Hello, ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಪ್ಪ. Shall I start now? Hello, good evening. Greetings from Dr. B.R. Ramakrishna. Let us begin today's discourse with a prayer. Namami dhanvantarimadidevam surasurairvandita padapadmam loke jararudbhaya mrityunasham dataramisham vividhaushadhinam. My dear viewers, today the topic that I have been allotted to interact with you is integrative preventive aspect of COVID-19. See, today the whole world for that matter is in a state of anxiety and in a state of stress. It is because of this pandemic virus. As Ayurvedists, we also know there are diseases like Jwara, Kushta, Shosha, Netra, Bhishyanda. These are considered as Aupasargika Rogas and also they are Janapadodhvamsa. For this novel coronavirus which has started in the last December, so far any proven preventive or curative line of protocols are available. In the given circumstance, we are left with no other alternative other than going with integration. Let us see what exactly integration we mean. You know, in Indian culture, we believe in what is known as Ekata mein Anekata, Anekata mein Ekata, unity in diversity and diversity in unity. In addition, the Vedic literature clearly upholds that Ano Bhadraha Kritavo Yanta Vishwataha. Let noble thoughts come to us from every side. Always it has been the best of the east and best of the west, and integrate, unite, and you have to be always selective in nature because ultimately our objective is to help the society. In the direction today, when no system of medicine is able to give a relief or a cure or a prevention for any particular problem, the medical pluralism is rather inevitable. Now, let me tell you what exactly integration. Integration is selecting the best from different available sources for the benefit of the recipient. Ultimately, patients need to be benefited. Patient need to be given a solution. For that, we are at free to select what the best available within our vicinity. And whenever we select a protocol or a particular drug or a line of treatment, number one, it should have efficacy, it should have safety, and it should be available, and there should be a practicability, and finally it should have within the reach of everybody. It should have a criteria of economics too. In the given scenario, why this integration is required? For many problems, no one system of medicine is able to provide solution. Today, look at the modern science which has reached its zenith in understanding the human physical system to the minutest level. The modern system is capable of treating emergencies, conducting more than 5,000 types of surgeries. The modern science has more than 40,000 chemicals which are used in different formulations. And it has gone into the level of organ transplantation. So many advancements. Even then, the modern science is not able to solve some of the problems like the non-communicable diseases. Today, the non-communicable diseases are what we call it as psychosomatic disorders, which are caused by stress, and the stress related problems, something like hypertension, diabetes mellitus, migraine, PCOD, hormonal disorders, psoriasis, autoimmune diseases, sleep disorders. Where is solution? There is no solution. Why? Why there is no solution? It is because the modern science approach in understanding the human life is what we call it as matter-based approach. And it is of a reductionistic attitude. Modern science thinks that this human system is a machine. When it is a machine, try to repair it. When repair is not possible, replace it. When repair is not possible, replace it. And the modern science has not made any attempt to go further in detail to understand the other components of human system. See, this human system is not merely a physical, it is an integrated manifestation of physical, physiological, psychological, intellectual, spiritual dimensions. When these dimensions are there, the physical, physiological, psychological, intellectual and spiritual dimensions, we call it as body, mind and spirit. Stop it now, please. Body, mind and spirit. And this mind, intellect and the consciousness is yet to be understood by the modern investigators. What is the approach in Ayurveda and Yoga or Ayush system is, it is totally a different approach. What we call it as totalistic approach, and it is conscious based approach. Unless we understand human system thoroughly by giving due importance to all its components, body, mind and consciousness, it is impossible to understand the inner disorders or the pathological status in the human system, because there is nothing like pure except the oxidants and other things or the trauma. For that matter, every disease is essentially of psychosomatic in nature. Ayurveda makes it very clear. Adhiyate, abhinimeshyate, pratikaraya manaha. And when we define disease, it is essential that there is a component of mind. And even while we define health as well as disease, we essentially say that samadosha samagnischa samadhatu malakriyaha prasanna atma indriyaha. Prasanna atma indriya is very important in the state of health. Similarly, when we define the disease also, there is an involvement or component of mind. Unless we understand this, it is very difficult, rather impossible to understand what is happening in the human system. Coming to further, we say Sukha samgyakam arogyam vikaro dukkham evacha. Sukha samgyaka. ease and dis-ease. Ease is an expression of what? Is it the body? It is an expression of the mind. And I am not comfortable, I am not feeling well. This expression is also not from the body alone, it is essentially from the mind too. In the given circumstance, we will have to understand the human system thoroughly, giving due importance to all its components or constitutions. And the modern science, for that matter, today has understood with this COVID virus, this coronavirus, how it spreads, what is the vector, what are the signs and symptoms, and what is the incubation period. Everything is fine. But still, we have not been able to find a solution either for prevention or for the cure. No doubt, worldwide research is going on in a very intensive way to explore and to investigate, rather to find a solution for prevention, maybe in the form of a vaccine, and for cures and drugs. Today, what is the status of a fight? In different places, hydroxychloroquine, azithromycin, some antiviral drugs, some antiprotozoal drugs, and in some places convalescent plasma therapy. These are all the choices that being recommended for curative purpose. And for preventive purpose, other than the lifestyle and certain WHO guidelines and whatever that is being endorsed by ICMR too, keep the physical distance, avoid social gathering, wear mask and other things. Other than that, there is nothing. Whereas at this juncture, we should think of the solutions that have been utilized, that have been used in the source country of or in the origin country of COVID-19. All of us know that the COVID-19, it started its journey from China, Wuhan. It is informed that it is seen in the news that the primary and the secondary management of both prevention and the cure of COVID-19 was managed by traditional Chinese medicine and the herbal Chinese medicine, HCM and TCM. They have a lot of herbs. They are like our Ayush systems in India. Chinese traditional system, for that matter, it has more than 4,500 herbs, and even today there are more than 7,000 practitioners in China. That includes even acupuncture. So they are able to provide solution for the primary and the secondary care, and only tertiary care is being taken by the conventional modern system of medicine. And look at how they have been able to keep the mortality rate very low, and even the people affected are very low compared to the United States and other countries. In the given circumstances, what we can do and how an integration can be done. No doubt Ayurveda or Unani or whatever the Ayush systems available, we also do not have a proven medicine. If anybody is claiming, it is an offense, and also it is not with ethics. But there is a concept of treatment, there is a concept of prevention for such problems in Ayurveda too. What Ayurveda says, baladhishthanam arogyam arogyartham kriyakramaha balam hi alam nigrahaya doshanam. Whenever there is a problem like this, especially a disease of Upasargika and Janapadodvamsa in nature, the first and foremost thing is we should boost our immunity. We should enhance our immune system. Only by improving immune system we can fight against the disease. Whereas the modern concept is we have to produce antibodies. For that, either vaccine or any method, you see that antibodies are produced, and these antibodies will take up the virus and it will kick it out. Whereas in the given circumstance, what our Ayush system can do, particularly Ayurveda and Yoga can do in improving or activating our immune system. You know, our Swasthavritta, Dinacharya, Rutucharya, Rutu Shodhana, Naimittika Rasayana, all these things, they are meant to they are meant to enhance immune system. They are not for anything else. They are for swasthasya swasthya rakshanam, to maintain the health of the healthy, and also to prevent the disease manifestation. And in the rehabilitation stage, these are given to prevent relapse. Today indeed that is very much required. In today's circumstance, there is no other way. We have to follow all the guidelines of World Health Organization, ICMR, Government of India, and also the concerned state governments, whatever the guidelines they are issuing time to time for prevention and even for the treatment. As COVID-19 is a global disaster, the therapeutic measures cannot be decided by anybody else, it has to be decided by the world body. But we have several options and we have liberty to take necessary steps to prevent this disease. In fact, our Honorable Prime Minister and our Department of Ayush has given an extensive deliberation and propaganda for Ayush method of improving immunity. Nobody are claiming that we have specific immune stimulating protocol or drug for COVID-19. But if you enhance the immunity, the general immunity in general, definitely it can be of much useful in the given circumstance. Now, what are the things that are available today? We talk about Swasthavritta, Rutucharya, Dinacharya and all. That has to be followed because this COVID-19 is not going to be closed soon after the lockdown is released. This may continue months together. Even this may continue for a year. We do not know. It is uncertain. Compared to the other countries, the intensity of the spread of COVID-19 and the mortality rate is very minimal. It is because, number one, Government of India took immediate action in the beginning itself. Ayurveda also tells very clearly how this prasanga gatra samsparshat nishwasat sahabhojanat sahashaya asanat vastra malyanulepanat sankramanti narannaram. So social distancing, avoiding physical contacts and making people compulsory to wear mask and other things have been introduced by Government of India at the earliest stage. So we have been able to control it. Second thing is, by and large, Indian population, they have a very good immune system. It may be for the reason that we are accustomed to use more of spices. It may be ginger, pepper, turmeric, garlic, cinnamon, coriander, cumin, clove, whatever for that matter. These spices we use it on regular basis in the form of rasam or whatever pulao, whatever we prepare, invariably these spices are the part and parcel. Probably we should not forget at this moment that Britishers came in search of these spices and they ruled us for many years. So these spices, they rather generate some amount of extra heat within our system. See, when this virus infection starts in the body, what is the first reaction? The first reaction is the fever. The temperature rises as a defense. The temperature increases as a defense against the virus. If one is very cautious at that stage itself, follow proper lifestyle, drink frequently warm water or little hot water, gargling, and taking these herbal spices in the form of herbal tea or decoction, whatever that is being recommended by Government of India through AYUSH department, these will add an extra heat in the beginning itself, and that heat will not allow these viruses to multiply and increase their population. Therefore, as a preventive therapy, whatever the Government of India is giving guidelines to use these spices in the form of herbal tea or herbal decoction, it has to be used. It is very scientific. And frequent drinking or use of hot water, it will not allow the virus to enter through the oral cavity. And our food also, whatever you consume, it should be quite warm, and we should never allow people to consume something like refrigerated ice cream or very cold water, because this will precipitate, this will increase the growth and the multiplication of the organism, that is the virus within our oral cavity. Another simple important method that we can do from the purview of, from the perception of Ayurveda is, when people go out from the home, which is sometimes inevitable, it is advisable to put 2 drops of coconut oil or medicated ghee into both the nostrils and make just inhalation, or even smearing is also will do. When we do that, what happens, the viruses in the fat media, they cannot multiply as fast as in the others. These viruses, they require what is known as a live body for multiplication. If you apply these viruses, they cannot directly come in contact with the system, and they cannot directly come in contact with the system. There will be a coating on our mucous membrane, and the virus gets inactive. And after we come, suppose you go out and you come home back, another important aspect is, no doubt you have to use sanitizers, wash your hand with soap and water, everything is good, and do not touch your nose and mouth and the eyes, all this is good. But come home and take 2 teaspoons of til oil or coconut oil, put in the mouth and do powerful oil pulling, what is known as kavala. Again, due to that, the organisms or the virus which has entered into the mouth or the oral cavity, it will not get multiplied. And remember, the virus, before it takes an entry into the system, that is into the lungs, according to science, it will take a shelter. It makes our nose and the mouth as a transit airport. It will stay in our nasal passage and our oral cavity for 3 to 4 days. Normally, in the 3 to 4 days, one feels feverish, throat irritation, little cough. And once the entry starts into the lungs, then the serious problems like breathlessness and other things starts. In the beginning itself, if you start practicing the gargling, oil pulling, instilling what we call it as pratimarsha nasya into the nose, and drinking sips of warm water frequently, definitely it can help in such a way that the organisms do not get multiplied. And Ayurveda has lot of rasayana dravyas, what we call it as immunomodulatory drugs, herbs. It may be amrita, bhudhatri, haridra, amalaki, pippali, so many are available. I have a list of about 25 immunomodulatory and more than 25 antiviral. There are more than 10, 20, 30 for a particular herb like amrita, more than 100 scientific papers are also there about its immunomodulatory and antiviral efficacy. So in the absence of any particular solution for this COVID-19, question is, should we allow the people to die? Follow all guidelines of the modern system of medicine. Don't dilute even 1%, but supplement only for prevention. Supplement with our Ayush guideline, which can definitely boost our immunity. Regarding the treatment of COVID, hats off to Government of India, particularly our Secretary Vaidya Rajesh Kotecha ji. After an interaction, video conference with Honorable Prime Minister, where I also had the privilege, they have taken every step in a war-footing way. They have constituted a high-power committee, a task force, to look into immediate research, to explore powerful immunostimulant and antiviral herbal formulations. And very important, just it has happened 2 days back, Government of India has notified in the Union Gazette regarding the clinical trial of Ayush formulations under the modern as well as Ayurvedic people, that to be conducted in a hospital where COVID patients are treated. So this will open a new Pandora box. No doubt the Western system, they are doing the research on identifying the root cause for it and also to find out a vaccine. Very good, that is good. But parallelly, we can really support every human being by providing a good immunomodulatory program through Ayush system. Another our most important area is yoga. Today, after our Honorable Prime Minister during 2015, when he moved a resolution in the United Nations regarding the International Day of Yoga, more than 176 countries, they gave an applause, they supported, and since then uninterruptedly International Day of Yoga is being conducted, because yoga has shown that out of research worldwide that it is a way of life and it can prevent diseases, it can help people from moving health to positive health. It is a very good solution for many of the non-communicable diseases, and it is a non-pharmacological intervention. Only lifestyle, some asanas, breath regulation techniques, special technique of relaxation, meditation, calming the mind. When these are done without using any herb or any medicament, today the whole world has accepted this, and Government of India through its Department of Yoga has prepared a protocol. Similarly, our S. Vyasa Yoga University under the guidance of Dr. H.R. Nagendra, our Chancellor, and Dr. R. Nagaratna and others, specific yoga protocols have been prepared for children, for middle-aged group people, and for the elderly people, which can be practiced between 15 to 20 minutes or maximum 30 minutes. If one practices these things, definitely they activate the lungs. They activate the lung capacity. Whenever we breathe, we should breathe by using abdomen, chest and the neck. That is what we call it as abdominothoracic and clavicular breathing. And different asanas and different pranayamas which have been recommended by S. Vyasa University, for that there are evidence based. They have shown through research that practicing particular asana and pranayama, especially in cases of bronchial asthma and in cases of tuberculosis, lot of rather significant improvement is seen. And after all, COVID-19 is a disease that affects the lungs, what we call it as pranamahasrotas. No doubt, through research we will have to establish it is also effective in COVID-19. But there are proofs, there are evidence-based research papers available regarding the efficacy of yoga, a particular package of yoga in treating tuberculosis, bronchial asthma, allergic bronchitis and other respiratory diseases. So based on that, our main objective is to keep our lung active, keep our lungs sensitive. We should not allow our lungs to die, and that is possible through integrated practice of yoga. Now look at here, I am not competent enough to talk about homeopathy, Unani and other systems, but one thing, Unani, Ayurveda in the conceptual, similarly Sauva, Ripa and Siddha, they go in parallel with Ayurveda, and yoga and Ayurveda are like the two faces of the same coin, which understand the human system, disease and the health in the same line. Therefore, in the given scenario, in addition to following whatever the modern system of medicine is advocating for prevention, yes, we will follow. We will not deviate even one. But there are measures like these. Whatever the Ayush system, our Department of Ayush is recommending, they all go in improving the immunity. There is no doubt about it. There are innumerable number of papers available. But we don't claim they are very specific to COVID-19. But they are definitely immunomodulatory for the entire respiratory system, rather the whole system, and in particular respiratory system. In Ayurveda, Naimittika Rasayanas are there for different systems. Pipali is a very good Rasayana for respiratory system. Shunti is a good Nagakesara, Shunti, they are very good Rasayana for gastrointestinal system. Like that, for different system, for different disease, there are specific Rasayanas are there. So under these circumstances, we will have to choose such drugs, such compounds. Ayush Mantralaya has recommended Chyavanprash. Chyavanprash is very rich of amla, and that amla, not only it contains vitamin C, it has got Jivaniya action, Rasayana action, Balya action, and there are more than 40-50 ingredients. And all these ingredients, they regulate entire metabolic system and improve immune system. That is why in the Government of India preventive protocol, Chyavanprash has been included. If one feels in the place of Chyavanprash, they can take Haritaki Rasayana, Vyagri Haritaki Rasayana, Agastya Haritaki Rasayana, Deshamula Rasayana. And remember, Amrita is one which is very, very important among all these drugs. Amrita, it is nectar. It is the best to boost our immune system, and it has antiviral actions too. As a preventive, you can use even Amritarishta, Amritottara Kashaya, and remember, wherever this Ayush system is being used, if you look at the statistics, the results are different. I will give you an example. Look, in Gujarat, the news is that in Gujarat, the people who have been kept in the home quarantine, those who had the history of contact with the person who is affected, nearly about 600 to 700 people, they were kept in the home quarantine. All of them were given yoga and our Ayurvedic formulas. And the result is, not even a single case has turned into positive. And see the way in which Kerala, they are managing. In Kerala, no doubt they have made very good. They did not send any people for home quarantine. They sent all people for institutional quarantine. And people came from outside or when they came from other states. That is one. And the policing is very strong and effective. Thirdly, every Kerala person for that matter, whether he takes any allopathy or any system of medicine, he will have his own choice of taking Ayurvedic herbs, Ayurvedic formulations. And that may be the one of the reason. I cannot say that it is because of that. But it looks for me that those places wherever the Ayurveda and Yoga are being supplemented for the prevention, those states, the results are different. Therefore, and the China is a model. Through their traditional Chinese medicine, lot of immunomodulatory drugs they are giving, they are using, and they are claiming too. When that is the case, here we should follow the guideline given by Ayush department very strictly and meticulously. In fact, on the day, just 4-5 days back, when our Honorable Prime Minister appealed to the people, he also included the Ayush preventive protocol, what is being given by Ayush Mantralaya, as one of the Saptapadis. Surely and certainly the science will prove in the days to come. And till that time, taking all these spices, Chavanaprash, Amritarishta, Amritottara Kashaya, and our herbs like Tulsi, Shunti, Pippali, Maricha, Nagakesara, all these things, they are part and parcel of our living. That means we use them not as medicine in our routine. We use them as our spices. They do not have any side effects. Absolutely no side effects. Little more quantity we have to consume, and you have to follow all the guidelines that is being given. Then we can definitely develop lot of immunity and overcome. Now, the Ayurvedic concept of treatment for that matter starts with a proper ahara, vihara, vichara, achara, and then aushadha. Ayurveda says, and we believe, pathye sati kimaushadha prayojanam, apathye sati kimaushadha nishevanam. Pathya, the proper lifestyle, proper food, that is very much indeed required, and proper ahara, vihara, vichara, and achara, wearing mask, keeping distance, all these part of achara. And vihara, regular practice of yoga, meditation, exercise. And vichara, proper meditation, positive thinking. So all these should become the part and parcel of all types of treatment, and particularly in the scenario of COVID-19. Now, what is the the reason for this type of pandemic or Janapadodvamsa? In the Shastra it has been said, and it is clear now that it is because we as human beings have taken for granted that the world is only for human beings, it is not for any animals or any creatures, and we are the boss. We have polluted, we have destroyed, we have contaminated our environment, our Pancha Mahabhutas, which are the basic structures. We have spoiled it. By what? By adharma. Shastra tells Janapadodvamsa starts because of adharma. What is dharma? Dharma is following moral, righteous things, and we have no freedom, we have no right to harm even a creature. When people eat what is called as seafood, seafood means S-E, whatever is seen, that too raw food, which all of us we have seen in the social media, how the Wuhan wet market people eat, that is adharma. We should live and we should make all creatures to live, that is dharma. When we have not followed Manava Dharma and we have become adharmis, we are following Rakshasa Dharma, we are following the devil's attitude, and that is the reason why today COVID-19 has erupted in one place and it is spreading everywhere. If really, as Ayurvedic people, we want to save the world and protect this environment, we should protect, respect and save our ecosystem. Then we can prevent COVID-20, COVID-21, COVID-23. Otherwise, they are all in the queue. Today it is 19, tomorrow is 20, 21, 22. Therefore, friends, let us have morality, moral values, righteous thinking in our attitude, behavior and culture, and protect the nature and follow Dinacharya, Rutucharya, Swastavritta, Sadachara, Sadritta, whatever has been said in the Shastra, we can definitely prevent all such diseases. In the given scenario, some people do recommend dhupa. Maybe that is good, I don't deny that. But because it is an infection that is not caused by air through droplet, but dhupa can help in some of the some of the type of this epidemic and the pandemic diseases. But there is no other way other than practicing integrative approach. You must be mentally prepared. Patient is not bothered, but the law should permit, and we should evolve such an attitude to select the best thing from all the sources that are available and use it for the welfare of the patient, and that is called as integration. And integration is not what is known as quackery, but before that we should develop the knowledge and we should understand the knowledge, and everyone should be given the right to understand all science. Science is not the property of anybody. For that matter, science is the property of the person who understands, who studies and who implements. Therefore, the Western science, which is totally dependent on physics, chemistry and the basics of biology, and it also belongs to us, thing is we have to understand, and Ayurveda also is in the same these things. See, using a microscope, using a stethoscope, using an ultrasound, it is not the property and propriety of any particular system. It is the property and the propriety of the person who uses meaningfully and meticulously. For that, we need an approach of integration. If there is no integration, these problems cannot be solved, because finally our thinking is what is known as holistic or totalistic conscious based approach, whereas the Western is purely materialistic or matter based and the reductionistic approach, if both come together, probably we can help the whole world, the best that is hidden in the science. Thank you. Thank you. Questions in the video? Friends, if you have any questions, you can send it to the organizers and they will be glad to answer to you at the right time. And I think my email ID will be provided to you. You can ask any questions, any queries with regard to Ayurveda, yoga and allied subjects. I will try my level best to answer you and clarify you. Thank you. Namaskar. Jai Ayurveda.